seeds or no seeds.
Something
Depends, you know.
magical can happen from the.
I think that some people will say that their school of thought is that it will be less potent because it spends energy developing seeds. Some will say it wouldn't affect it because it's a natural cycle.
Put your headphones on and listen to it. You'll hear how you sound in the microphone.
Yeah.
I can even turn on the music that way, and we can hear it. It'll be a much better. You'll feel
Where do we
more
plug in?
inside, and you should already be. There should
Check,
be
check.
just a little.
Did you hit that
I
already?
don't know if I need a. You need a. You got headphones, Rob?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not plugged in. Oh, my bad.
Give it the. You hear something? You got.
Yo yo.
Check, check.
Yo yo yo.
That's crazy.
See, I got to turn on the headphones.
It'll fall right over. There it is.
There we go.
Loud and clear.
How's that? Roger, Roger, Roger. Beady, beady, beady.
Test one.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
you bring down the treble?
Can you hear me in the back?
See, and then we can do this.
I'll flip you.
We got the music underneath, right?
Yeah. Very tranquil. Like a spa.
That's the like.
Oh, whoa.
Ooh yeah.
Is that orange I tasted all day long?
I put some orange in it.
There we go.
I thought there was some
There we
orange.
go. Holy, what's up? That fixed the technical difficulties here. Larry Reed, the man on weed.
So,
And we are here on a Wednesday, hump day. Extravaganza. We'll turn down the sound here.
what's up, Patty?
There's a little feedback in there. We got some good. If you love weed, you're in the right place tonight because we got some weed for you. Just get to this here. There we go. There we go. We got Marcus and Robin from Arbuckle Tree Farm, otherwise known as ATF. In the hizzy, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Howdy, howdy.
Doing very well. Thank you very much for giving us some time with you tonight.
Yeah, that's. Oh, hey, we got echoes. I think. Hello. Yes, 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 yes. The. Somebody give me some feedback. Make sure we're good. I'm kind of flying.
Check, check.
There we go.
Check,
Hello.
check.
Check,
Hello.
check, check. I don't. Can you hear me in your microphone?
Wow.
Check, check, check. I don't think I can hear too much of me.
MOB. MOB.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
talk
what's
about
going
something.
on?
So what's
All right,
what's
so
up
we're
with
live.
Arbuckle?
Yeah,
there
you know,
go.
we had some technical difficulties, I guess that's what you said. So
Yeah. Loosen up
Sometime-
behind
easy
the
for
wheel.
me to say.
Sometimes you got to roll a joint twice.
Yeah, there we go.
Arbuckle Tree Factory in Davis, Oklahoma. Very happy to be out here hanging out with one of the cannabis soldiers in Oklahoma. That's creating waves for us and allowing us to do what we do, which is grow weed. So,
And you guys grow some killer weed. We've got some incredible visuals here. I think Larry Reed, the man on weed, has actually got his shit together here, which is pretty fucking amazing. Let's see. Oh, it's not doing what I thought it would. Oh, that's why. Oh, there you go. Because we're a little bit delayed on there, so I can't watch I'm trying to watch it on there, and so there we go. Let's go. I got to turn down the echoes. If you have your cell phone, that's probably just me. There we go. So now we're all set. There we go. Let's see. Wait. I'm gonna see if I can get Hooligan to somebody watch the inside.
I can see you, Marcus.
His mic ain't on yet. Now everybody's mic's on. There you go. Thank you, Hooligan. Somehow I got an echo in here. It sounds like I'm down the hall. You hear that?
Yeah, it sounds nice. Little chorus going, little reverb.
Yeah, that's the And there we go. We've got the. Let me just get used to this a little bit here. There we go. Then we're all in there. That's crazy, huh? The and there we go.
Welcome. Hey, we made it.
There's some weed. There we go. Now we've got that all set up there. So you guys are out of Davis, Oklahoma, huh? That's where the fuck is Davis? It's
Right there by the Arbuckle
right there.
Wilderness.
That's right. It's kind of the taint of Oklahoma, you know. We don't know where we are, but we know where we taint. You know?
That's pretty funny.
We're down by Turner Falls in Arbuckle Wilderness area.
Turner Falls is beautiful.
It's really nice up there. We get some of the best sunsets.
And you guys been weeders before, right? You've grown a plant or two in your
Yeah.
adventures out there.
We have. We've, you know, personally, I've been cultivating for 28 years at this point. And, been a soldier of the cannabis army for a while, true believer, and a shepherd to the plants. Feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to cultivate cannabis for almost 3 decades now, I guess. And even though we weren't supposed to do it, I feel great that I still have the ability to make it happen.
Well, we're grateful for the years of service that probably none of us would have ever known who was behind it, and thanks to every one of the how our paths meet was through the Jack Herrera Cup, and the Arbuckle Tree Farm is in the Jack Herrera Cup, so you'll come on out and be able to see all the kind of stuff that they're doing out there. They've got a booth. You can come out and meet these guys. But that was really when Jack really started, was he Noah, or the shepherd for the plant shepherd, right? He
Right.
kind of set the tone for all that, right?
The identity for that, yeah. I was very intrigued by the mission and the statement that Jack Hare made even back then. I actually germinated Jack Hare seeds with a good friend of mine and a group of us back in December of 1995 after it won the 1994 Cannabis Cup. My buddy had gone to Amsterdam and picked up seeds in '95 when White Widow won the cup, and we brought back all those seeds, and we still have that actually at the farm today, right now in Davis, Oklahoma. We have our phenotype of the Jack Hare that we have had since 1995. So
Jack 95.
yeah, we call it the 95 Jack, and
The 95 Jack, and we can get that somewhere in the state of Oklahoma here? Or
you will be able to acquire that in about 90 days at your local favorite dispensary. We have some of that going right now, and been very fortunate to be in a situation to be able to carry these types of genetics with us for 2 to 3 decades at this point.
It's pretty amazing that they've continued on, because I've gone through a lot of seeds in my life, and so I'm grateful for folks like yourself that get out there and become the shepherd for the plant, because I got a couple seeds saved and stuff like that, but nothing like to what you guys are.
Sure.
You have them all cataloged, right? You're with some of the early genetic stuff.
Yeah, but one of the things that's really interesting, I think, and important is even one person, even if they're just holding one strain, and they've been holding it for 20 years, that one strain could be really critical in furthering some of the lineage. And so whether it's somebody that's held 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 strains, which I've been juggling that many strains for a long time through a variety of properties and different situations and friends and all the above that have helped me do these things. There's some people that have put us in situations to get one strain back that we've been searching for 10 years that we didn't have, and then we're like, oh yeah, my buddy, you
And
gave me a
if he's
clone of
listening
that,
tonight,
And if you're listening tonight, here's my list. I'm looking to get back.
he knows.
Yeah, and so, you'll get somebody will say, I gave that to this friend. Let me reach out to them, and they'll say, dude, he still has it. And I'm actually about to get my Super Silver Haze string back that I went and picked up in Vancouver back in '97. I'm about to get that specific cut back because of a situation like that where somebody's holding that one variety for 20 plus years now. So.
And the genetics still stay the genetics. Like, how does that all work? Like, because does it fall out over time? Who's making the babies?
That's a highly discussed topic.
It's a detailed
Sometimes
topic.
it's debated very heavily. It really all depends about the genetics,
Right.
and it depends about how they've been held. It depends about how many situations has it been in. I've seen the same exact strains end up in two different environments and end up with two different results 10 years apart from each other. And so there is the potential for something to change what it may represent in previous examples, but it doesn't mean it's a guarantee. It doesn't mean that every strain is going to weaken, and it definitely doesn't mean that every strain is going to change. It just means that some strains are predisposed to those types of genetic variations later in life, and some are not. And so sometimes you can pick up a variety that may be 30 or 40 years old, but it still exhibits the same exact qualities, still has the same vigorous growth patterns, and still produces the same results. Sometimes you'll find one that has, doesn't have those capabilities, and whether it be environmental factors that change those things or just a genetic weakness, those are other topics that can be discussed, debated as well, right?
Forever.
Right, and so.
Because that is one of the wild things that when you get with a bunch of people that are genetics breeders,
yeah,
the conversation just goes and goes and goes.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
Right. Yeah.
And how do you get into these, Robin? Are you saying like time out? I got to go get a pizza, or are you how are you in the genetic world?
I had the opportunity to just be fortunate enough to grow up with this guy, and it's something that's important. It's something that I've watched him work on for a long time, and as we all know, in the recent years, cannabis has changed. The face of cannabis has changed in the United States and worldwide, and in this guy's face hasn't changed much. I've been watching it, so he looks a lot like he did just a few. So when I saw that kind of a change coming, my natural inclination was to, remember and ponder, wow, what was the best? I remember this, and looking around at what you could find in any kind of store that you would go into. What is that? What is this? What is that? Like, whatever happened to this? and sure enough, some fortunate individuals have had the opportunity to be blessed with that stuff for a long time, and here it is still to this day, producing the same genetics.
Yeah.
So I guess the answer to your question is I'm lucky to be involved with Marcus and what he's doing, and I'm proud to say that I'll help him in many ways. And some of my expertise I bring, besides just being a connoisseur, is understanding the genetics as well in the plant and what it takes to supply the light inside.
I'm just checking. They're telling me the sound's a little soft. You're good. We got that sound fixed.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing that you. And how long have you guys been working together? Or? 6 months or?
Well, I feel fortunate. Robin's full time at the facility. He's also a licensed electrician. And yeah, so I pimp his ass hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
hell yeah.
But no, I couldn't be more in a better situation because he grows excellent weed and always has, and he also understands electricity. He's a Tesla nerd, so I'm okay with that. Like
That's wild.
we like to nerd out on all that shit.
That's
for
my
sure.
niche. That's where I come in.
And
Okay.
it's the reality of it is me and Robin have known each other since I think Robin was probably 11 years old.
Wow.
I think I was 12.
Wow.
And so
That's wild.
we're from the same hometown.
That's cool.
We spend a lot of time together. It's interesting to look back at I bumped into him in Austin, and we were leaving this fancy restaurant, and he was leaving. I was coming in or something. I was like, "Hey, what the
Sounds
fuck,
like a
dude?"
Bruce
Yeah,
Springsteen.
and so I didn't say nothing. I was like, "Yo, man, yeah, I'll call you, But I was hella into the weed scene and crushing it and all that good stuff, and then I had a problem. Like I fried some shit, some of my electrical stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta call."
Hey, Robin.
Nah, man, I should have called this fool. Now I'm an asshole. I'm just gonna call him because I got a problem. And I called him, and I was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, man, what's up?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a dick. I should have called you before, but now I got a problem. Can you just come over and fix my shit?" He was like, "Yeah, I got you, man." So he came back over, and we reconnected, and of course, it's been harmony again as it was before, and
It's nice to have somebody that you know and you can trust, and that
well,
you
somebody I
have-
can rely on, because it's growing cannabis is 24/7 365, and you have however many plants you have, that's how many babies you have, and so the larger the operation, the more infants you need to take care of, and I need to be able to call somebody and say, "Hey, can you go do this?" And I don't really have a lot of time to explain it because I'm busy, and so I find a great sense of relief in those things. So that's a good thing, without a doubt.
That's the window dressing version of that. There's a lot of history. We could go on. We could talk stories
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, I almost burned down a few houses and shit, and he helped me from doing that.
And that's just the last 20 years we could talk about.
Right,
we could go
right.
back further.
Yeah, exactly. There's all sorts of wildness.
Yeah, well, that's just getting
But,
started.
But one thing is for sure is he has the right mentality and understanding of how to nurture life, and cannabis is one of those things that it requires a relationship with the plant, because it is something that we have something as diverse as orchids, and something that
Oh yeah, you grow orchids too?
I see. I'll kill an orchid, but I can grow any strain of weed you got. No, I can grow orchid. I can grow anything really, but
Because that's the real.
the diversity is there, though. You have the ability to interbreed all these other varieties with each other, and there's this certain aspect of how it all works together that we're just now beginning to scratch the surface and understand what that actually looks like, and it's just through push and new pieces of information and technology and understanding and science and testing and all these, understanding our new cannabinoids that are coming to light and things like this.
It's pretty amazing.
It's cutting edge, man.
And
right
you
now.
you growing some crazy weed over there. We got that. We'll take it over to
Yeah.
the Arbuckle tree farm, Cam. Show us some of the stuff you got there. That's the tropical popsicle. But
this
we got to
is-
come back to that, because that's the coup de grace, right? That's
this is
the Rolls Royce.
Well, they're all.
They're all-
I had to say, they're all special in their own ways for sure. This is an NV genetic strain. We at Arbuckle Tree Factory, we do grow a variety of stuff. We also grow Green Fire Seeds, which is my seed company. Myself, we basically focus on sativas, landrace varieties, African varieties. But we want to show.
I love me some sativas, man, to
Yeah.
get going in the day and run around the place.
Absolutely. And we want to showcase some of the premier breeders in the industry that have definitely earned their time in the spotlight or their time in the arena, however you'd like to look at it. This is another strain from Envy Genetics called the Drip. It is extremely resinous, very loud.
Because some of the bud, when I was looking at it earlier, I thought the bud was white.
Right.
But once the trichomes are removed from it, it's actually like the screaming purple.
Yeah, the Trop Pop is one of those things. It's like, it's almost black, but it's so resinous it looks white, you know.
Yeah.
It's you gotta just try to give her what she needs, and then through select breeding through this is Animal Face Mints right here. This is a Sea Junkie variety.
And all this stuff is going to be out there at the Chronic Palooza, April 17th and 18th, where you can come out and visit Arbuckle Tree Farm, where they're growing some trees. Look at that. That's the money shot right there.
Yeah, this is
Pop.
Yeah, this is animal cookies.
Now that's a
Sea Junkie genetic. Yeah, it's animal cookies from Face Off OG, which is a great sativa leaning OG Kush variety, into the Cushman's 11 strain, which Sea Junkie did as well. And it's one of these rare opportunities that you get to check out a sativa leaning variety that just screams Kush on the lip and the nose and the mouth. And so this is one of we're growing multiple phenos of this, and this stuff is just really great daytime weed. And if you love Kush and you love sativa, then this is
and which one was that again?
This is jam. Animal Face Mints. We're running 5 different phenos of this right now, and we did submit a lot of these into the event.
Jeff Waters, thanks for signing in here. He's saying sativa is good for CPOD.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working with a doctor in Florida for some COPD trials right now, where he's looking at using CBG, CBN, and THCV for some medical trial studies. He's entering phase 2 trial studies for that.
Wow.
And he has a nebulizer that he's using for COPD, for PTSD, and a couple of other conditions. And so he's absolutely right that we have an opportunity here to treat conditions like COPD that they thought were untreatable, even of recent. And we're understanding that the endocannabinoid system that we have in our body has the ability to treat untreatable diseases that they recently, haven't had the ability to understand. So,
Well, I think if people don't know, COPD is the precursor to emphysema, right? Isn't that the which is odd. If you ever watch a NASCAR race, like originally it was the Winston Cup,
right?
They got everybody smoking cigarettes, and now their number one sponsor is the COPD medicine.
Right.
Is like, so that's kind of whacked. They should.
There's a secret contract behind that one for sure. Like, you've been killing fools for this long. Now you're going to promote this,
Balance in the universe, I guess.
But. And it really is. It's one of those things. It's all, it's a forever discussion. These are tobacco industry things that have happened, and now the cannabis industry has to come in, and while we have to manage this idea that's happened about smoking in general, now we have to come in and also try to treat these conditions that they've created through those products. So,
and we haven't really found any severe lung issues with cannabis.
No, they haven't been able to connect any type of lung
and they
cancer
try to, right? They've got to be out
possible.
there trying to make it look bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they just haven't been able to.
They haven't been able to.
Fuck them.
And I welcome. I don't think smoking is necessarily a healthy activity, but while they continue to fail to connect cancer or any of these other conditions to smoking cannabis, I'm going to welcome it because I like to smoke weed, plain and simple.
Are you more of a weeder, or are you more of a dabber or edible guy, or what is? I'd imagine as a grower, I
like to smoke flower and buds. I like to smoke bubble hash and rosin. I mean, I like to get high every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to stay lifted. There's no question about it. I'm a sativa junkie by nature. You know, it is what it is. Like, one of my son's names is Hayes. You know, like, I love me some motherfucking sativa. I love some Hayes. Like, we do this, you know, every day. This isn't a trend. This isn't a fad for us. This is 28 years deep, growing, you know, high quality cannabis with a pride, but also understanding that it's about cannabis. You know, that's why back in the 90s I opened a hemp store. You know, the Hip Connection in Denton, Texas, and it was about. And one of the reasons I did that is because of Jack Hare and The Emperor Wears No Clothes. You know, that was one of my motivations to try to help proliferate hemp and the ideas behind it. And you know, I support the Constitution as well. And you know, last time I checked, the Constitution was written on hemp. You know
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just like the Marines' shoelaces are still made out of hemp.
Right. Yeah. Because
it's the best.
Because that shit works.
That
you
shit
know what
works.
I'm saying? Like, believe it.
The George Bush's parachute lines that saved his ass from being shot down in World War II were made out of hemp. I think they're still made out of hemp.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
because it's the best rope.
It is what it is. You know, you can't beat that fiber. It's, you know.
And we should be making that hemp here in the United States, right? Not having to buy the hemp rope from China or wherever they're going to.
You know, one of the things about hemp and CBD and these types of industrial hemp and also cannabis CBD hemp is the model's proven when you're looking at an industrial product, you're looking at industrial hemp, you really need to produce the hemp within about 40, 50 miles of where the hemp's going to be processed. And so it makes sense to economically to set up processing facilities within these agricultural areas so you have a lower cost of transportation to the processing facilities. Then they can have all the raw inputs for the variety of products that allow you to create rope and the building materials that we're trying to do. Because once you add in the transportation costs and all these other things into it, it just perverts the value model.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, man. It's like raw shit, you know. It's like, yo, you can do this, you know, grow the field over there, and then like let's get together. And it's like it takes a village mentality. It's more like we can build these houses, we can 3D print these houses, but we can do it with this village mentality. You know, you can take the marriage of artificial intelligence and marry that with, you know, this idea of raw natural input that doesn't, you know, create these bad situations and pollutions for the environment. It's shit's real, you know. You have to do it.
That's it's funny you say that with the printing of the houses.
Yeah.
Hempcrete. We're not far away from that as being one of our major,
absolutely,
you know, building supplies, right?
No, it's not. And you know, the original recipes for concrete in Greek societies and some of these ancient societies where they were hemp-based, and that's why you can still go look at those ruins, you know, because that shit worked. You know, they weren't creating it in a 3,000 degree kiln to create concrete. They were making it with their hands, and they were building aqueducts and stuff like this with these to support life. It wasn't about building a high-rise office building.
Yeah.
It was about how the fuck are we going to drink some water tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? That isn't going to kill us. You know, that's real shit. You know,
that's real shit right there.
Right.
That's, and you're right about that hemp. It gets harder over time. It becomes what do they call it? Carbon neutral. It actually becomes carbon negative. It starts absorbing CO2 out of the environments, and just some amazing.
It's lowest VOCs of any type of raw input that you can put into any type of building product. It's really that simple. You know, everything in our environment has volatile organic compounds in it, and hemp is one of these few products that has hydrocarbon-based value to it, but it's also has the potential to create very low VOC type materials from the same material. That's one of the. It's like fucking magic.
It's like light beer. It tastes great and less filling.
Right, right.
Like,
Yo, we can make fuel, and we can also make, you know, bed sheets that aren't going to make you sick.
Yeah.
create building products
That you don't need 50 gallons of oil into your bed sheet to
fuck you up, you know, like.
Or fuck up the brown guy on the other end of the well that we're bombing to
Right,
take
right.
his oil.
We don't have to fuck nobody over to get the shit we need, you know. That's real.
We grow it in our own backyards.
There's a lot of products there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
can we really say that the quote unquote paper wall has fallen? Because when we talk about the tragic history of hemp, I mean, literally there's a paper wall, and has it fallen? I mean, that's where.
The problem with everything we're seeing is just because we're here right now, but we're a blip in time. Hemp is something that's been successful and used for, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of years. And then, you know, basically in 1937, you have these things that come together and come to light that are based on a variety of reasons. But we're only, you know, what are we, 70, 80, 90 years down the road from that?
Yeah.
So that's like that's
Nothing.
a little slice of
Yeah.
nothing, you know, on the ruler.
I
basically.
sometimes wonder how much we've lost in manpower, woman power, in energy, in progress from not having hemp, not having cannabis, that we've been fighting it for all these years. And the humans will never win over trying to restrict the access to it because it's too vital of a plant. Once somebody gets high off it, they're like there's something about this stuff.
You're like, yeah, you want me to let this dipshit tell me I can't use this? Like, yeah, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's real, especially like based on some ideology that's rooted in religion or fucking profit or some bullshit like that. It's like, you know, they used the religious institutions to further the idea, but it was really based on economic and racism.
Yeah, that was the propaganda.
Racism.
You know,
I mean, it was
like,
based on like economics. I
like-
mean, they used that as the window
like
dressing.
the paint industry and some of these other industries, but
Yeah,
then
of course.
they publicized it and they moved their shit forward through Sunday school, you know, and
I mean, lobbyists
you
move by dollars. They don't, you know. They don't-
William Randolph Hearst.
They don't move
He's
by
printing
prayers.
newspapers out of his own plants, you know,
Right.
out of his tree farm, and
There you go.
you know he's promoting all the propaganda, kind of like the grinder. We're promoting the hell out of weed, you know, but
Right.
it's true. Unfortunately, theirs wasn't true.
right.
That
Right.
they went, and that's why.
But it's easier to sell fear
oh
than
yeah,
it is to sell
oh,
positivity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So with that said, being the paper wall has fallen, all of these products are becoming available. Not just the enjoyment of the smoke, the tropical popsicle, I think that is.
Is that what we got there in
That's that
tropical
pop,
Pops?
baby, blowing your doors open.
Show us that on the Arbuckle Tree Farm cam. Show us one of those.
Shirts,
Sucker lit.
rope.
It's Tree Factory, baby, because we're running these
Tree
out every
Factory.
day. Yeah, we factory.
See,
we
I didn't write
factory.
down my notes. I'm
No, you're
flying
good. You're
solo.
good. We running the craft shit on a factory line because we love bud, and
There it is.
basically, if the bud doesn't look like this, it's gonna end up in some type of concentrate because we're only fucking promoting the A++ in any type of thing you see. The Trop Pop came in really nice. We're looking at 34% total
Wow.
cannabinoids.
Wow.
It tastes purple, huh?
Uh-huh.
It's amazing how purple just tastes.
White Rabbit ran some concentrate for us just out of the trim, and it looked like fucking grape drink falling out of the tank. So,
Word to White Rabbit.
yeah.
And I got to say, the weed is so resinous to begin with. It's tough to get going.
Yeah, it's it'll serve you right. This is my new jam, this tropical popsicle. I just have to say that Emmy Genetics did some just unbelievable work with this stuff here. I've been nothing but impressed, you know. It's
So that you leave a lot of the stuff up to the other experts in the field and not claim to know everything or near anything about cannabis. Is that kind of pretty much the way I'm reading it?
yeah, pretty much, yeah, exactly. You know, it's I understand after all this time that, you know, everybody can contribute in a variety of ways, and for me, I love sativas, but I do understand whether it be Hindu Kush Mountain Range indicas or it's equatorial sativas. I understand all those aspects. Whether, you know, I know I understand the different methods of cultivation, whatever we're trying to accomplish. But one thing is for sure, that it's such a diverse plant and we have so many people interested in it and really diving into it, that it's really good to always be listening and to, you know, try to find people that are contributing to their ideas of what their experiences are, because really every fucking thing about this, no matter what path you're on, is about experience with it. Because, you know, this isn't something where Google solves your problems, you know, or YouTube solves your problems.
Well, that's pretty interesting that you say that, because like when you first started, you never heard of no Korean farming techniques or anything like that, right?
One of the hashtags on Greenfire Seeds, and Greenfire Seeds is our Instagram account for our seed company. Arbuckle Tree Factory is our Instagram for the farm. Is I hashtag pre-internet grower, because the internet didn't exist when I started growing weed, you know what I'm saying? And then once it started, I was absolutely fucking terrified of any type of anything that had to do with a computer, because, you know, I knew that they were up our ass from the beginning. Yeah. And Operation Green Merchant and all these things that came into the Overgrow forums and these other sites, I knew that was going to happen. I called it from the get, you know. And being from Texas and growing large fucking commercial operations in the belly of the beast, you didn't tell nobody. Like, I would date girls that didn't even know that I had 3 grow houses. I'd be like, nah, bitch, I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm getting 6,400 for pounds and rolling a Subaru, you know, and like not giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we got Gucci money, but we're rolling Subarus, you know, because you can't floss like that back in the 90s, and you couldn't even in the early 2000s. But you know, instead I do things like open a hemp store with that dope money, you know, and help out friends and do what you can.
Because that's got to be a pretty big trip there to have a hemp store in Denton, Texas. Did you have a lot of the sheriff coming by all the time, or?
Nah, it wasn't. You know, it was a clothing store. I was into retail and stuff like, you know, it was a clothing and hemp store, and then my buddy Spencer came in and opened a record store. We had hemp store, clothing, and record store, record resource, and so it was like this little hub of like everybody just wanted to come and, you know, and chill and do their thing, and they wanted their new gear and they wanted their records, and it was a good jam. It's called the Hip Connection. THC was the acronym. And so we kept it real chill, but, you know, once they figured it out, it was like, oh shit. But so they had this little they had this little fucking cop shop down the street from us, right, just a couple doors down. And so the Denton police would always be rolling around, and they knew, you know, I was long hair, rolling a fucking Volkswagen, fucking smelling like weed, and I was flipping cases of glass back then, you know, and just we were doing our thing. And there was the Delta Lodge, like, you know, the shit that they based Animal House off of and shit was like across the street, and the oldest head shop in Texas, the Zebra's Head, was right across the street from my store. And so, you know, the pigs would come into my shop sometimes, and I was in the back, like, blowing tweed, and I would walk out of this, like, you know, I'd have a curtain up, gypsy fucking curtain and shit, you know, and I'd come through, and I'd be like, oh, fuck, it's the fucking cops, you know, and I was blowing, like, some old fucking super skunk or something, and they'd be like, oh, hey, we're just stopping by to say hey, and you know, and at times there was, like, volunteer girls that were working at the cop shop that were Deltas, and I was talking to some of them, you know, and they would say, oh, they're talking about you down there, you know, they know you're fucking hustling and shit. I'd be like, thanks for the info, you know. I'd be like, yo, shut that shit down, you know. But he's
a nice boy, man.
It was crazy. It was like, it was Denton, Texas, a very small community with less than 100,000 people with a huge drug scene, and we were, you know, fucking eating hella mushrooms and eating all sorts of fucking, LSD and fucking growing weed and just living it.
Living
know?
a Texas
We
life.
thought we were in Austin, but we were in fucking
Right.
Republican-run Denton, Texas, and that was when I left. Because I wore my welcome out. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's because that's a whack state like that, and it's so different
Yeah.
between Austin and the rest of the state
yeah,
that it's
yeah. but
people
they,
don't know Texas. It's,
They want to lock your ass up for 20 years.
Yeah.
For real.
They're going to ban smokable hemp there, right? Or they already did, or
It
some
kind
kind
of got
of
shut
wacky-
down. Like, yeah, they had a ruling in the court system that is allowing it to further itself still, and that was a pretty intense situation down there. But right now, you can still, the head shops are still selling smokable hemp. I'm still hustling pounds of smokable hemp to those head shops.
Was it the gas pipe? Is that there was a famous one in Austin? I think I went in there a couple times.
Planet K,
Planet
maybe?
K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas pipe is out of
It's a lighter that you got right there.
Gas pipe is out of Dallas, and oddly enough, they do not sell any fucking smokable hemp, because their owners, they're true weed soldiers as well, but they refuse to leave the DFW area, and so they got too much of a spotlight. But they're great people, and they deserve the respect that they've earned for opening head shops in fucking Texas for that long.
Yeah.
They're true
I
soldiers.
don't know. I mean, you
You know,
guys say
gas
it's the
pops,
belly
true
of the
soldiers.
beast, but that's Willie Nelson's home state too.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
Willie wasn't there.
Yeah,
Willie,
but you
Willie
weren't,
left.
you weren't crushing houses back in the '90s, so you're, honestly, it is what it is.
Well, it's got an undercurrent. Let me
Yeah,
put
you
it
didn't
that
wake up with your fucking butthole up in your fucking mouth because you saw some
That's
red
true.
and blue lights
Well, I don't know.
outside your window. Yeah,
And it was just an ambulance going down the
you
street.
were, off importing waking pizzas
Yeah.
or something. So, but it is interesting because it goes back to what you said. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. If you have that connection to the plant, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna risk it. You're gonna fucking make those choices. I'm just super hyper paranoid and fucking an asshole at times to people that don't respect those types of paranoias. And so it kept me safe,
Yeah.
It just did. And I knew that for me to keep these 50 different strains alive or 100 strains alive or whatever it was, that I couldn't do it from jail. And
It's a
I
little
wanted
tough
to keep
do
this shit
there.
together, and I didn't want to go to jail anyway.
That's a little tough to do.
I wanted to
there.
make some bread, and I wanted to grow this plant. And,
So how many strains do you think you have out there at Arbuckle Tree Factory?
I mean, I have different mother gardens in different areas that hold varieties, but in total we have plus 200.
200, huh?
Yeah, and at the farm now we're at plus probably 100.
Are you okay? If you don't want to talk about it, it's kind of like the same fertilizer you use. What was the name of that fertilizer again?
Yeah. So so what I will say is on the our indoor scientific regimen, that's the fuck off fertilizer, and but on our
So on the same line of the fuck off fertilizer, in the rooms, are you isolating strains? Are you similars? Are you?
So we run in each room. We have 8 32-foot trays, and we generally run one strain per tray. And then in that room, we run anywhere from 4 to 8 strains or more. We want to make it where we have, we only run that Zaza, basically, that people are really wanting right now in the market, and things that are kind of like, they're so resinous they look fake type of shit, And
PGRs or
right,
anything about
right.
that?
No, we don't run any plant growth regulators or anything like that. We don't fuck around like that. But what we do is we use our experience coupled with the latest science and research to make sure that we have an A+ product. I'm not some diehard, I only grow no-till, fucking living soil, or I only grow hydro. I don't do that. Use the appropriate methods for the appropriate application. And, like on our greenhouses, our outdoors, anything like this, we run 100% organic. And there's not a better product on the market than Elevation Organics, 100% organic products. We run their soil, we run their liquids.
Are they local
Yeah.
or are they
They're actually
a
based,
national company?
They're based out of Oregon and Colorado. And I also have a partnership and a license grow in Colorado, in Denver. And we run their, we're going to be running their products in our indoor grow, 100%. It's bioponics. We're going to be running organic
Wow.
soils and nutrients, but in a hydroponic setup. And so
I told you on that pot for pennies that I used to grow.
yeah, man.
I was taking the, I had a, this is where I get to kind of talk like I actually knew what I was talking about.
Right.
This is I would take a Mr. Coffee and I would brew all kinds of like bat guanos and things like that out of the Mr. Coffee to get it to
Yeah.
go real fast. And then I'd add it to my
The
reservoirs.
Bud Swell, man. The
And-
original shit, brother. Yeah, man. The fucking yellow and green labels, baby, in the gallon jugs. I know what's up. Don't even kid yourself.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that
fucking
was
popping that shit for sure.
that was it. And then it was all hydroponic, but it was all organic hydroponic kind of
Damn
thing.
straight. Yeah, see.
So, and I never, the pH pen never really worked.
Right. Well,
but
but
it's
in
just,
the organics, who gave a fuck, right?
Right.
You have natural fucking, you have a buffer going on there. And that was the thing. You did that because that was your option,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You didn't get to go to the store and like have these jack off conversations with every dude in there. Like, oh, well, today I think this, it's like, yo, man, I got to go get some shit to grow this weed and I got to make sure nobody knows I'm growing weed.
Tomatoes.
Right.
I'm growing
right.
these tomatoes over
And
here.
so that was one of those things, like, you had, people don't even understand, you had this whole other fucking layer of shit you had to figure in just to grow the weed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's wonderful. But, it's organic, hydroponic, bioponic,
Almost wet.
no one should shame anybody for their methods. If you're growing cannabis, you're growing cannabis. I don't give a fuck if you're using GH or you're growing it fucking living soul out of your own
Miracle
asshole.
Grow.
Right, yeah. Or you're growing Miracle Grow. It doesn't matter, like, it is what it is. Like, everybody's got an entry point. Everybody's like, it's like, what is it? I don't give a shit what you're growing it in, what you're doing. Tell me what your attraction is. Why did you get to the point where you wanted to grow cannabis? Is it because you have a sick family member? Is it because you want to get high? Is it because I don't give a shit what it is. Like, it's a different attraction for any reason, a variety of reasons. But there's a unity involved in the cannabis plant that can bring everybody together. And I don't care what it is that gets you there. Did you get there?
Yeah.
And so that's the special shit for me. It really
This is some special shit right here. It's got that orange hint to it. It's almost like busting that chocolate with that little bit of orange hint in the back.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Animal Mints? Or is that the...
That's the Trop Pop.
Trop
Still
Pop.
fucking blowing your doors open. That shit is it is very sophisticated in its palate, man. It's got a great, just, layers of flavors that, I'm impressed.
That's the tropical.
Yeah, and I have to say, props to the cone rolling school you've gone to. 'Cause it definitely is I'm usually a hog legger, but there is
those
certainly
monkey
an
fingers,
art.
right? Yeah.
That's it.
Man, I started rolling joints with tips back in the fucking. I flew to. So, Super Silver Haze won the 1997 Cup. And I was always this fucking skunk and haze junkie. And so it won the Cup in 97. And I couldn't get over it. I was tripping. And so I bought a plane ticket like within a week after I won the Cup to go to Vancouver, because there was a shop there called the Amsterdam Cafe that Mark Emery worked with. And so I was like, I'm going to fucking Amsterdam to get these seeds. And I got a group. I told my group of friends, I was like, I'm going to Amsterdam. I'm fucking buy this fucking Super Silver Haze. It just won the Cup. This shit's the shit, man. Fucking Shanti fucking bred this shit. Like, I did my homework. Neville's involved. Like, we're doing this, And I was like, you guys can throw in some cash if you want. I'm going to go pick up all these beans, And so I flew up to Vancouver, and my friend Billy Masters was there. He's an old school Texas guy, and he had moved up to the Northwest, and he was already running packs like back in the early '90s and mid '90s. He was running that BC weed across the border, you know.
Perps, yep.
Yeah, and so he was. They were putting. He's a pretty. He wasn't the biggest dude, you know. And they'd throw 30 pounds on his back, and he would run a few miles across the border before they had all the sensors and shit up, you know. And then he would pick up the money and run it back across a couple miles. They'd pick him up, pay his ass really well to do it. And so he was up there living, and just, you know, he was up in the scene. Like, everybody was jealous to be up, you know. But he was one of those dudes. He was like, no, I'm gonna go be right in the middle of this. And so I flew up there in December of '97 after Super Silver Haze won the cup, and I went to get those seeds, and some people threw some bread in, and I flew into Vancouver and got there, and he was living in this grow house, and I was smoking all this pineapple weed he had, and we were just chilling. I went and bought all these seeds, and flew back with him after a very extensive exchange with customs. And they actually that was back when they would hold the plane for you. Still, they held the plane for me, and like
Just
for
so
like
that he could-
45 minutes while I was
Wow.
caught up in secondary customs search.
Shout out Pan Am.
Yeah, and
You could smoke cigarettes on the plane back
yeah,
in those days.
yeah,
You bring a
almost,
bowl.
almost, right. And
Yep.
so yeah, I flew up there and I got that Super Silver Haze, and I brought that shit back. And I got Neville's Haze and Super Silver and just a whole bunch of stuff. You know, I spent thousands of dollars. But I was getting $6,400 per pound, so I didn't give a fuck. And,
Yeah.
But Billy, he hosted me up there, just fucking baller style. He's just like, yo, my house, your house. Here's just fucking bags of weed, you know. And back then, weed was fucking $100 a quarter bag, no matter where you were, always
Yeah.
and forever. And
the weed,
Yeah.
the level of the weed that you're talking about was Rolls Royce. You weren't.
yeah.
Everybody didn't have that weed.
No,
that
no. My weed was getting sold for $600 to $800 an ounce back then, and I was selling it for $400, and they were flipping it for $6 to $8. And
God bless America.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it
Fuck
was one of
yeah.
those things, man. But yeah, it was about the strains, and you know, back then you get caught up. It's like, yo, I'm getting this much for weed, but even back then, when you would. You know, I was giving it to some people, you know, just like, yo, this fool's sick, or they don't have money, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, you jack this fool for $400 an ounce, and you give it to this guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and they didn't really know the medicinal value. Like, they had an idea.
Right.
Like it helps. You know, the glaucoma was always the
Right.
the
That was
buzzword.
the one. My
That was the-
glaucoma.
Yeah, you know, Ray Charles and his glaucoma. But that was so. We're grateful that it's turned out like this, right? I mean, we're sitting on the cusp of something. We're right at the beginning of everything,
It's true.
relatively, right? It's,
Yeah, we
true.
are with the ability to treat all these conditions that, you know, whether it be, we're looking for solutions for weight loss, or we're looking for anxiety or depression.
See, that's the. Do you know the guy that sells the skinny weed out of Oregon? What you were going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I grow it for him or some shit like that, right?
Coming right up.
Because I got his card,
Right.
and it was a very interesting. I think they got kind of caught up in the COVID in their marketing kind of thing,
Sure.
and but it was weed that didn't promote the munchies,
Right. So
That's-
it's THCV rich cannabis is and it's one of my passions I've had for over 25 years, and it is one of the reasons that I bought that plane ticket and flew out to Vancouver in 1997 is because haze strains and haze varieties in these sativas, they hold high THCV qualities, which are which is the active ingredient in the active cannabinoid for conditions like, you know, weight loss, which ties back to not having the munchies when you get high. Like, and that's why I like smoking sativas. Like, I'm, my thing is like sativa lover. If that's my thing. Like, I love fucking sativas because you smoke sativas, you want to go ride your bike. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're tripping. You're like, yo, I gotta do something. I clean the fucking house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Watch the car.
This misconception that I'm gonna smoke weed and shit's gonna grow on my walls because I'm fucking getting high is just stupid. Like, if anybody knows me, I'm like always cleaning. I'm always fucking doing something. I'm working 16-hour days every fucking day because I'm on that sativa lifestyle. It's just that shit's real. Like, it is my. If you want uppers but you don't want to do cocaine, you smoke sativa. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that simple. That's real shit.
Well, the right there, if it could help somebody get off cocaine.
It is, and it does.
Or meth.
Or Oxycontins.
Oxycontins.
The opioids. It's proven, man. This is information that's extracted from social and health science state facilities. This the state health departments that report this information. Yeah. And they show that in states that have legalized medicinal cannabis, that opioid abuse drops, and you can't argue with that.
No, that's a fact.
There's no special interest collecting this information. This is information coming from the hospitals, information coming from state-ran facilities that have no.
Just the amount of people they aren't reviving, having to give that drug to, that Narcan or whatever, to revive the people.
Right.
That's really one of the easy ways to tell it's not being used out there, and really just to be able to have that access to it. Sometimes people just need a little bit of something.
Yeah.
And if you can get access to cannabis, hell yeah, because certainly I was joking around with the people over at the Walgreens when they didn't have my prescription for my hypertension to go, and they were like, oh, the doctor this, the doctor that, and I was like, it's easier to score drugs in your parking lot than it is to come in here and buy them from you.
It's
like there's something
why
wrong
are you
there.
the gateway to my solution?
It's another economic, stumbling block.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's the Eastern Western medicine thing. It's the, you go to Africa and you see these guys wearing brown, like potato sacks and robes, and they have, like, they look like as indigenous as you can, imagine, and they roll out all this medicine in these, sacks basically, and people show up and they're like, they're the actual doctors.
Yeah.
Or you can go into like this weird place that's kind of like a grocery store or a Walgreens and say, my shit hurts, and they'll say, hey, give you this, but it's one of those things. It's all of those medicines are derived from natural inputs.
Well, if you can grow your medicine in your backyard, it's eliminating a lot of economic opportunity.
Well, and for people that are suffering from schizophrenia and anxiety and PTSD and stuff that really limits their ability to function in society and make, like maybe hold a job that's going to help not only support them but the people around them.
Right.
This is really important shit. Like, some motherfuckers got to get up and smoke some weed in the morning to go do that.
Yeah.
And I don't need some guy that thinks he knows what's best for me or for that person in general to, what does it take for you to tackle the world on a daily basis? I have an idea what it takes for me to do that. I'm not so sure what it takes for you to do that. And being of a conservative mentality of who I am, I think that you can probably figure that best for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you need some help, holler at a motherfucker, because I'm going to help you out, right? But I'm not going to try to interfere with what you see as your best solution for that if it's working for you. Right. Now, if you're beating your kids' asses or something like that, then I'm going to step in and be like, yo, hey, man, let me help you out, But,
let me roll you a joint.
But the answer is,
I don't know what's really best for me, so I certainly don't know what's best for you.
Right. I got
So,
my own
I'm
fucking
better.
problems. I'm not
That's
trying
it.
to
I
figure
got
out
some
yours.
fucking
Right.
problems. Exactly.
Like, yo, man, that's real shit, you know. And
So,
but
yeah.
if I can cut out the middleman, and I don't have to go buy a fucking plastic bottle full of shit, and I can grow that plant, and you know, the seed is the source of life, and if I can hold the seed, then I don't need Walgreens.
Yep.
Speaking of rolling, what that smells delicious from here. I'm not sure what you're.
This is some orange mints. This is a
Orange.
Seed Junkie strain. It's his orange cookies times Cushman's 11, number 6 pheno. That is, it's really impressive. It's like somebody poured some gasoline into my orange juice. And,
So one of our wonderful fans, Michelle Bridges Fuller, she's wondering, with your vast collection, do you have the elusive Doug Varon strain, which is great for weight loss?
I have a few.
The wheels are turning. I don't know if
I would have to know.
if you-
I don't
gotta-
have that specific
there's
one in
smoke
particular.
pouring out
but,
his ears as he's.
Yeah, we do have some heavy THCV varieties, but I need more information. Share some information with me.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's do this. You know.
Because Marcus is just a giant sponge when it comes to weed. The more information you can give him, the better off we all are.
Yeah. I'm
So
with it.
that's and really that's one of the great things about the Jack Herrera Cup, the Chronic Palooza, just all the stuff that we're going to be doing coming up here is just that sharing of knowledge.
The fam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that tribal knowledge that's, yeah, you can go to YouTube and you can do this and you can do that, but to hear it from somebody that's done it and to be close to that person, to smell the weed on their breath, it creates a whole different.
Or on their fingers.
Is that true? You guys really run around with your fingers up each other's noses during harvest season?
Something like that.
Try to keep your fingers to your own nose.
Smell this. Smell this. But I do, to comment on the weight loss active profiles that make those things happen. There is a whole realm of cannabis out there that holds certain terpene combinations with high levels of THCV and other minor cannabinoids that they make you, when you smoke them, you don't have a desire to eat food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah.
It's like there is a chemical reaction in your brain and your G receptor in your brain that says, I want to clean the house instead of fucking eating pie, And so to me, it's just awesome. It's just one of those things. It's like, why can we at what point, where, it's not when, but it's not if, but it's when are we going to understand what is the variety of the chemical makeup that actually says clean, don't eat pie. You know what I mean? Like, some shit's happening. That shit's real,
You can get a hybrid and clean while you're eating pie.
There you go.
There's
And the neutral weight. But that the like most other substances on this planet, there's just derivations of that pheno that it does different things than other.
right?
Like us humans, though I got brothers and sisters that we definitely can't do the same things,
Right.
and it's just
It's
genetics.
about your combination of how it works for you, chemistry. One thing I'll say is we have a variety of landrace sativa strains that hold those characteristics of the THCV high content and the combination that puts you in that mentality of like exercise, active lifestyle, as opposed to couch-like type of high. We have half a greenhouse full right now of Enchanted Gorilla. That's a Swaziland Gold hybrid
Enchanted Gorilla, huh?
Yeah,
That's-
It's so sweet and so sativa-like that it's my jam. Like it's really during the day, it's all I want to smoke, and then I just want to smoke some tropical popsicle at night. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things. And for folks that are looking for that active lifestyle and are looking for that sativa high, like if you're one of those people that I've got to smoke weed every day, all day, and I still have to be high functioning professional, then it is the match for
Super
that.
Silver Haze.
Like,
That's the
it's
or
a,
anything.
It's
haze.
a background. The Enchanted Gorilla has some of the haze lineage in it, which all really stems from Africa.
Yeah.
The motherland.
Like
itself.
everything does. Yeah.
Exactly, right. The motherland of all things,
Yeah.
right? And so, but you get those, those rich qualities of that from that variety and from those varieties that we think of as Super Silver Haze. Like, in our minds, we know what Super Silver Haze tastes like. We know what that plant looks like. We know what a sack of that shit looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I bought I remember this plant. He showed me a picture of a Super Silver Haze bud that I grew back in the early 2000s at some point, and it was the size of a CO2 bottle. Like, it was unfucking believable. It's one of those like Dr. Seuss cartoonish size buds, and even back then I was full hydro on fucking rock wool and just growing fucking Christmas trees, and it's like I held a CO2 bottle up and I held the bud next to it, and the bud was bigger, and I was like, yeah, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But that's through Shanti Baba and Neville Schoenaker's breeding and these people that were, like for me, I feel like I've spent 28 years doing this. Well, they were doing it when I didn't even fucking know what it was, I was just like buying seeds,
right.
I was like a custy, like, yo, can I get some seeds? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you're the noob.
But I knew like there was something there.
Yeah.
And I knew how to identify it, like between, is it, Cincy Seed Bank, or is it Greenhouse, or is it Nirvana, or is it, the gray area, or is it, Flying Dutchman or Positronics or Ben Dronkers from Cincy Seed Bank, like where are you getting your shit and how much are you paying for it, and are you going to find that one elite, variety that you can keep and further and get $400 an ounce for, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny, the Super Silver Haze, that was my pot for pennies one, which was totally in a small room. It was kind of outrageous, like
right.
It was all over.
This
but
huge sativa strain in a half 2 liter bottle. You're like, what the fuck am I thinking?
Well, like it went. It by the time it was all over with, it wrapped from this way and went that way and this way, and then
right.
all the buds would stand up and all that. But I dug 3 acres of irrigation when I was growing that, and I'd go and I'd rip one of them dubers, and I'd be like, yeah, and I dug it all with my hand, with a matic.
Right. Yeah, man, and you earned that shit.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, and even back then, it's like the weed was that good back then.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, it wasn't as strong. No, you just smoking the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Super Silver Haze, blow your doors open. It's 30%. Hash Plant, 30%. All these varieties, they were there, man. It's just they weren't as prevalent. It wasn't every fucking strain's fucking 25 or 30%. Right? The only shit on the shelf at the dispensary, which a dispensary, fucking out of your mind, like, what the fuck is that? You didn't ever ask for a COA. Like, what's the terpene count? Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. It's $100 sack. Oh, what did you just ask me? Don't ever call again. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, like, you lost your fucking mind, like, like, oh, it's not in a glass jar. No, bitch, it's in a fucking roll top Ziploc. Like, we doing this? Now it's 120 now. Do you want the quarter? Like,
keep talking.
Yeah, like, keep fucking spewing shit out of your mouth, But, man, it's come a long ways,
It's come a long ways. Now, so what do you think about now? I mean, the variety that we have here is just, there's nobody, I don't think, on the planet that has the array that we have here in Oklahoma. It's pretty amazing.
And it's
Economic driven.
we have a lot, but I gotta say, up in the hills of southern Oregon and northern California,
Yeah.
there's some stables and portfolios up there of stuff that are 400 or 500 deep,
Wow.
and they there's it kind of depends, but there's also things in Oklahoma that don't follow the norm. There's nothing close to it. It's totally bizarre to me. It's like I have people asking me for Blue Dream pounds. I'm like, what? I'm like, yes. As a matter of fact, I have the Santa Cruz Blue Dream.
I was gonna say, if you can grow
I have
the
it,
real
you know,
Blue
like-
Dream, that
Right.
it was.
Like, yo, we
That
got it.
good.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I'm not I'm a strain hoarder.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'll keep that. And we have the Swazi Dream, which is Swaziland Gold, which me and my lady went and sourced in Africa and brought back to the United States and bred that into the Santa Cruz Cut of Blue Dream. And so we have Swazi Dream that is all the great shit of fucking Blue Dream and all the amazing things of pure sativa Swaziland. And, that's unique to our farm and our effort. And one of the things that we will be propagating on a large scale for next season. And, but the real Blue Dream is one of those things, It's like the meme, that says, and when the Blue Dream packs didn't sell, we renamed them blah, 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 But for a minute.
That orange smells amazing.
Yeah, that's that orange cookies. This is 100% organic, Elevation Organics right here. And it's just, the orange terps are just fucking something else, man.
It smells
I
great.
really love them.
It is I was feeling a little bit like on the groggy side a little bit,
Yeah. This
and I just
fucking
hit that, and
pops
it's
you up.
like,
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
real.
dang, I'm ready to jump into some
It's like that
Adobe
fucking-
fucking Premiere and
Yeah,
shit,
you're right.
take
It's-
some lessons and.
fucking liquid cocaine up in this joint, you know what I'm saying? Like, no,
what's-
those orange terps, those citrus terps, man, this fucking gas for that ass for sure.
So what do you think about the diamond world? Like you're really true to the flower. Like people pulling terps out and then re-adding terps because that's
Sure.
that there's whatever sheets on the whatever they call them, the fucking on limonene, on all the terpenes. There's
Right.
MDS sheets, material data sheets on
Oh, yeah.
how much it'll poison you, that kind of
Sure.
stuff. So what do you think about the re-adding of terps and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, I'm a terp slut, so, I'm everything in moderation, but I like to overdo it. But
Anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
right,
Right? It's
exactly.
like-
But I do think that you can take anything and find the bad shit.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about essential oils and terpenes, I think that the benefits of those things used correctly far outweigh any of the negative impacts that may be there. Now, if we sit around and drink orange oil, you're probably going to get sick. You know what I'm saying? But
There's a certain formula.
if
for
somebody's like going to tell me that because I'm smoking orange terps in a fucking pen, I'm going to die, I'm probably going to be like, I don't know. We'll see about that. Because I love smoking some live rosin terp carts and live resin terp carts and just fucking.
And how about diamonds? Do you go to the diamond way, or you?
I mean, diamonds are great, but the fact of the matter is diamonds just kind of. A diamond is amazing, a THCA crystal, right?
Yep.
But it's a crystal, so to crystallize, it has to eliminate certain elements of that whole, cocktail of THC and terpenes and all these other things. Now, I think it's cool. I think like when people were crashing diamonds years ago, that it was like awesome, and I think there's a great place for it. I got nothing bad to say about it. Do I want to take some diamonds and dip them up in some terps and drop them in a rig? Fuck yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
all right, that's fair
yeah,
enough.
you know what I mean. But for me,
That's
I'm a big applesauce guy.
Yeah.
I'm all about just give me those pure. If we're gonna crash diamonds, I want to do fucking Jartec. I want live rosin fucking diamonds, you know, covered up with fucking natural hydrocarbon terps that came off of that weed with no, they don't need help. You know, cannabis has enough naturally occurring hydrocarbons to do any amount of extraction you need out of itself. You don't need mixed gas. You don't need hexane, propane, butane. You don't need those things. Cannabis is a naturally rich hydrocarbon plant. That's why Jartec actually works with rosin. It's not because it's magic. It's because hydrocarbons exist in the rosin. That's why you can crash diamonds in a jar with rosin and separate THCA crystals from the terpenes and from the other aspects of what is existing within the 100% of that product. And so,
and that's via heat and pressure also?
Yeah, so you make just crashing rosin instead of putting it into instead of running and then doing your tech on it, you can do jar tech where you just do it into your jar.
Yeah.
And then where you would do like live resin jar, tech and do your vac. You can create a very similar product without having to use mixed gases.
Wow.
Because of those naturally occurring hydrocarbons.
We're going to have to do a show on that. Because you can do it at the house.
That's the shit.
Right?
We could do a show on that few sentences
shit
that he just said. If you want to back what he just set up, we could dissect that for a few hours.
The chemistry behind it's super dope. You know, it's like, whoa. Because the magic, really, it's really cool. But the really awesome part about it is it's all there. It's all exists there. You don't have to bring anything else out except a little pressure, a little heat.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's no, it doesn't require the petroleum industry to create this product.
You don't need to have a test
It doesn't require Dow. It doesn't require a chemical DuPont. It doesn't require any fucking buddy else.
It's all right there, huh?
Innovation and one fucking input to create a variety of things that come out of that one input. That's the shit, man.
That's the shit right there.
Generally, you have to have a whole bunch of inputs to create one thing.
Right.
You can take one thing and create a variety of outputs. That's the magic, man.
That is the magic.
It is. It's fucking mind blowing, and it's like you just have to, you have to kind of release and see it, and because everyone's gonna take shots at it forever, like, oh, we'll know about this, and this. Like, oh man, it really is like the fucking one-stop shop, end-all, be-all solution for all the shit. Like the finest bed sheets and fucking gas for your rocket ship, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
It's true.
Like,
It's true.
It's real, man, and we can get high along the way.
Dude, we get jiggity jacked. And there you go. If you want to go to come meet Marcus and Robin over there at the Chronic Palooza. I'm even forgetting where I'm at here. The April 17th and 18th, which it originally started out as to break the record of the largest patient drive in the state, in the country. Which we got 1,200 for the first year at the State Fairgrounds of Oklahoma. And then last year we were out there at the Crossroads Mall. And then this year we added the Jack Herrera Cup because, like we talked about earlier, Jack was really so we learned more stuff about this. We've got the 21 days of Jack on its way. We're going to do a little bit about Jack every day for 21 days. Keep hammering it into their heads to be like, it's one input, all kinds of different outputs, right?
That's man, he's the fucking man.
So that'll happen there, and you can come talk to these guys. They'll be out there. You can be sure they'll be out there at their booth, Arbuckle Tree Farms, or Arbuckle Tree Factory.
There you go.
As they pump it out there, I'm sure they'll have a sticker or two by then. We'll make them have some couple stickers.
Like the machines.
And then we'll still do our patient drive, which is going to go on at the Palooza again. But if you needed to get your card before, or if you're from out of state that you want to get your card from another state, you've got your medical card, you can go to www.chronicdocs.com, or you can call 866-4059-333 for Chronic Docs. And then you guys are supposed to say $25 every day, all day. And they say,
$25 every day.
all day.
Yeah, $25 every day, all day. And we sent multiple folks from the farm already through there.
Well, thank you so much. The ladies do a great job. She's got a ton of super employees that are out there helping. Say, ran into this lady that's stealing her name. They're going to take care of that on the legal side, which is like, that's fucked up, right?
Yeah. Man.
You ever had anybody jump on your weed and be like, hey, that's my,
Yeah, that's forever. Like,
Forever.
Yeah, we have that. That's going on in Jamaica currently, and that's going on in other variety of states currently, and it's as simple as just renaming it and calling it something else, unfortunately.
I thought about that today, and then we're like chronic everything. We're Chronic Docs, or Chronic Land, or Chronic. I'm sure we got some other chronic things here, but she put her life into that. So
yeah, man, that's heartbreaking. It's tragic.
Yeah.
It's like, somebody comes in and swipes your shit.
It's just like
they hijack your shit. You work your ass off. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, your money, and you live with less, so you could put this time into this effort, and then somebody comes in and just decides they're gonna take it over. You're like, nah, man. No.
The fight's only begun. That's for sure. They'll get a cease and desist. It's just ridiculous. I'll let her tell the story because it's just.
We'll put these fools on blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got thousands of followers on Instagram, and we got a long reach, and
a million.
We owe this
troll army.
Yeah, well, cannabis is the most powerful plant on earth. It's very attractive to people, and people look at it like they're gonna make their fortune, and so we owe it to the people in this industry to make sure to inform the good people that, hey, man, it's real. They're in our industry. They're coming here. They were building houses 5 years ago, or they were fucking hustling this or whatever they're doing, but they're not here for the plant. They're here for $1, and we have to share that information when it's important to protect each other, And
Amen to that.
And this is a prime example of that. This person is not a good person. They're trying to fuck somebody over that's fucking spending a lot of time, and fuck this fool, you know what I'm saying? Let's put them on blast and get them out of our industry, and then go fuck off and do whatever they do, dig ditch. The world needs ditch diggers too,
It's unfortunate.
That's for sure. Yeah, we'll rise above it and get over it, and we can follow you. Where can we follow you on Instagram? The Arbuckle Tree Factory?
Arbuckle Tree Factory is active, and it is us. It's got less than nothing on it. I'm going to go ahead and get on there and drop some stuff, but Green Fire Seeds, that's kind of where we've been posting everything for the garden. That's the seed company that I have and operate. And we are running some of our genetics there, but we're also running some stuff that is really popular right now, but it's deservingly so. Seed Junkies earned it. Wedding Cake, Wedding Crasher. We have Deep Space Creations, Kim de la Kim that we have going right now. We have Phenomenal Cut as Slurricane. We're running the clone only Cushman's 11. We're running the real Calculator Mac 1, the Banana Punch. We're running the hitters. We're running things that Ice Cream Mints. We have JBZ's cut of Wedding Cake. We're running the orange mints, the animal.
So how are we going to be able to find your weed?
The first thing that would be the way to make this happen is we're new. We just got rolling.
Okay.
Your favorite shops? Tell your favorite shops. Holler at us. Reach out to you on the show.
Yep.
Find out how to get in touch with us.
Yep. Green Fire Seed.
If you're in Tulsa, you can get us at Uptown Wellness.
Okay.
They've got us on the shelf. if you're in Oklahoma City, you can find us at Mr. Green. You know, but in general, you can look for some of our live rosin with White Rabbit products.
That's the different White Rabbit.
Yeah, WIGHT. Yeah, and these.
Yours is the different one.
Yeah, these guys are
WH.
Yeah, these kids are doing
WY.
well. WIGHT.
WIGHT.
Yeah, but you know, really, we are looking for shops that are they appreciate good cannabis. They want something that was grown with love, and they want it grown with the best inputs, and they want it grown to a certain caliber. You know, we check the boxes. We do everything we can to check the boxes, and you know, we feel like the energy that goes into cultivating cannabis is something that also comes out of the usage of it. And so, if you're a shithead and you're growing cannabis, that the high that comes from it might be, you know, confusing for the end user and not relieving. And so we are trying to make sure that what we do to create an end product, also in the end product in our mind, it's about the end feeling. It's not just about how does it look in the sack. You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we understand that's important also, bag appeal and all that good stuff, you know, and like when you go to a restaurant, you want the food to look good and smell good before you eat it, but you want it to taste right as well.
Yeah.
And you want to feel good about it when you leave, like, yo, I don't want to go home and eat, you know,
you're
real
squealing
cheese.
cats
in
the kitchen or
you're like,
anything
I'm
like
satisfied, I'm good,
Yeah.
I'm high.
They were nice people. The whole thing. That's I definitely buy cannabis based upon personality behind the cannabis. I don't care how good your weed is.
Right.
If you're not good people, then sorry.
And it shows up.
Yeah.
It shows up in your product. You know, it gives you, you know, some people think it's hokey shit, but I feel like sometimes I smoke some bud and I'm like, yo, man, I feel off. You know, I don't know who the fuck grew this or what it is, but just something's off, you know. And we want to just always and forever create happiness or relief or both. Whatever you're pursuing with cannabis usage, we want to help deliver that, or at least create a possibility for you to get that feeling, you know. And that's key for us. I have my own seed company, I have my own genetics and stuff, but I'm not here just to talk about that, you know what I mean? I'm here to talk about what is it that I'm here to learn from somebody, like, what strain do you like?
Dude, like this Michelle Bridges Fuller lady with her Darwin, like that was
right.
I see a lot of growers, a lot of processors, a lot of dispensary folks, and the people that are always open to experience are the ones that really gain in everything that in this market. You'll meet people that are with a higher intellect than you, and you'll learn from them, and then you'll find people that are lower in knowledge base than you, and you'll educate them, and everybody kind of, it's sharing is caring, I guess. That's
absolutely.
One of the great things about it.
Well, you know, understanding this and getting more familiar with it, the green market has really allowed you to explore what your weed is. As composed, you know, coming from the black market, you weren't exposed to any of that, and here Marcus is transparent with everything he's doing, right up to the formula.
Yeah,
he's not going to give you the fuck
the world famous fuck off.
I'll give you
formula.
some of them, but not all of them. You
that's
know.
the fuck off formula. But that's really exactly what you were saying, Robin. Is the expanse of it, the knowledge that's in it, the transparency of people growing it and then sharing their experiences. That which was what you guys came here tonight, sharing your experience. A lot of these people, they never heard somebody's got this many strains and growing that way. Right. And I hope it inspires them and gets them fired up. Right? That's the
I mean, our understanding of life in general has come a long way, right? We're eating good foods. We're trying to do what's right. We're trying to get some exercise. We want to know where our food comes from. How'd you grow that? What's in that thing you're about to stick in my arm? You know, and that comes right back to what you're smoking and what you're eating. And if it's medicine for you, it's really something that you should be paying attention to because your body's already in a critical state. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's important.
Yeah, that the array of cannabis available to, because you can get it to stick in any part of your body here in this state.
Yeah.
Whether whatever ails you, whether you're sending it in through the back door or
Right.
through your ears or your eyes or your nose,
Big
all
ones.
those products are here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That are it addresses so many different people that discovery starts to happen. One of the things that we're doing with the Jack Herrera Cup is I've got a section in there for the judges that asks if you have a certain affliction, when you smoked this or when you ingested this, how did you feel? How was your affliction after that? Did it exasperate it? Did it relieve it? Give us some of that, and then we're able to of course it's not super scientific, but we're able to get it. If there's repeating, I felt like this, I felt like this, I felt like this, then we feel a whole lot better about having it's not just a cup kind of thing. It's education. It's sharing that experience, like you say, of what really weed is all about.
Right.
That's the great thing. And so
moving the mystery from, the fear that's coupled with the mystery that creates the barrier of people wanting to know. And sometimes it just takes somebody they trust their opinion of, or somebody that they're comfortable with saying, hey, I did this was my experience. And they're like, you know what? And I see it in some of the older generations that we work with. They're open to something that they might not have been open to before, simply because somebody said this imaginary rule, this imaginary line, whatever it is, we don't have to worry about that anymore. But it's so many different things, so many different barriers get broken for people, whether it be Sunday school they told about it, or whether it's a bingo parlor or the casino or whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't matter. Somebody broke it down for them, and they said, you know what, I'm gonna eat that gummy, or I'm gonna, generally, I swear to God, man, at my experiences when I'm listening to people, it's fucking that gummy. I ate this gummy, and my shit quit hurting, and my knee, my backiotomy, and, like all the above, and I'm like,
well, a lot of times it's enough medicine
That's
to get them
awesome.
off the edge. Like if they
Right.
only smoke a little bit of weed, it never really relates to them. But
Right.
then when they go overboard a little bit and it turns to that Tetra 11,
right.
and then the brain barrier, it slams them, then all of a sudden they're like, wow, this really is medicine. It's
real.
not just,
Right.
get
You know,
high
you think
shit.
about that. You're taking a substance that you're wanting to cross the brain barrier. I mean, you should probably take a little bit of time to find out where that came from.
Yeah, well,
You know, I mean,
But we're humans though. We don't.
it's a
We don't
unique
know.
thing to cannabis. It's something that people haven't been dealing with in this. It's
Yep.
just now getting to their idea that, oh my God, I really should give a crap about what's in my weed.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, now that we have that choice, now that we have the ability to go into a store and go and say, hey, I need my Arbuckle Tree Factory weed because I know how they grow it and all that. Whereas we come from the world of, yo,
what-
bro, what you got? You
Yeah.
know, like
It may have got sprayed,
Right.
but it's really cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. It's,
and gratefully so that I never heard of anybody getting sick from weed. You once in a while you read it in the store or something like that, but relatively speaking, it's an amazing plant that doesn't kill people.
Well, that's the
That-
joke
that
I was
is-
making. It may have been sprayed, but it's real cheap. That's they used to spray the illegal cannabis crops with
They're spraying it.
crap that
They're
would
spraying
kill it.
distillate
Agent
these
Orange.
days.
But that would also kill people that would
no,
go harvest.
they take the hemp pounds and they spray it with the
Yeah.
misty. But yeah, I got a shop. I own part of a dispensary in Oregon, and
Oh, you see that
I
shit
have
come
friends,
through.
up in the mix out there, and they're buying the confectionery spray guns and fucking straight, You know, they ain't spraying cakes, they're spraying pounds. You know, and that shit's real. You know, for sure. Whether it be Delta 8 or Delta 9 or whatever, combination of both. But
And now all of a sudden there's Delta 8, and what's next that's going to come out that they're going to crack underneath pressure and heat? You know, like what else pops up out of there?
yeah,
Or becomes, or the processors become knowledgeable enough to unlock the keys to other things that are contained in there. Like I had never known about the hydrocarbons really that was in cannabis.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, Googling that shit tonight.
that's the fuel. That
Yeah.
you know, that's why we can make fuel to power, whether it be a motorcycle or
Okay.
and you know, an engine of whatever type. It's whatever some energy source.
The
right?
gas. That's the gas.
Basically, energy sources require some type of hydrocarbon or, you know, radiation, right, from the sun or something like that to fuel it. And so it's fuel cell. And so really, if you want to get into the super nerdy shit about it,
Right.
it comes down to nanotechnology and graphene technology and hemp carbon-based technology that contributes to graphene technology that's contributing to the nanotechnology to create fuel cells that weigh nothing. You know, a fuel cell that weighs less than this phone that can fly a jet. You know, that is where it's going. If you go into the super crazy shit like flying the Death Star or the fucking Imperial fucking cruiser, you know, those things.
Shout out to Vader.
Those things would be like fueled by a hemp graphene based fuel cell that weighs nothing, you know, but holds enough energy to fuel a star. And so that is where it goes from here 100 years from now, 20 years from now, you know, 50 years from now. And, you know, people are like, what? But no, like if you look at it, if you open that can of worms, you can't close it. And it's a fact, you know. I have friends working in oil and gas and petroleum industry that they're fueling the hemp graphene technology that's going to create these fuel cells because they are energy companies, right? Like we know they punch holes in the earth and suck shit out and fucking sell it, right? And turn it into fuel. But that's the thing. It's like, how do we mix carbon-based hemp graphene fuel cells with petroleum industry and biofuels?
Yeah, because they're not going to go away.
Right. So
they want
they
in
are
on
going
it.
to
It's the algae. You start seeing
period,
the
right,
algae
whether,
stuff starting
you know,
to come.
the people building the solar fields, those are petroleum companies funding that through subsidies through the government.
For sure, those
that's real.
photovoltaic cells are built out of oil, right? You can't get rid of it. You can use it, and that's one of the things that I find more and more about cannabis as medicine is like it might not cure everything, but it can be an additive to a lot of things that'll create the usefulness of the medicine even more so.
It's balance. It's about an efficiency model. It's about, we have 100% of this. How can we replace parts of this with something more benign to the carbon footprint, to production, to life, and just create a better model for each of these things at a different level? It doesn't mean you have to like solve the fucking problem for everything. You know, it's like, you know, you don't solve, you know, a fuel issue by saying no fuel. You don't solve a gun issue by no guns. You know, you don't do stupid shit like that, right? Like, no, man, the world doesn't work like that. You come up with a balance, you know.
Yeah.
And so with weed, like, for me, well, I'm wondering what people that come on the show for you, what is there when it comes to cannabis as a medicine? What is the number one idea that's attached to them, like remedy, relief, solution? What does it do? Is it a financial remedy? Is it actual a medicinal remedy? Is it a combination of these things? Is it an access remedy? You know, is it Do they go buy Advil because it's on the shelf and they can't buy the weed? Is it because of the stigma? You know, like, I'm curious about the sociology aspect of it tied to the scientific side of it. Like, you get to poll people like this.
Yeah.
I live in a hole in a cave and grow weed. You know what
Talk
I'm
to
saying?
plants all day,
I
yeah.
don't talk to nobody. You know, I like,
Keeping that
I get
Falcon
emotional
fuel
and
strain
I
alive,
fucking,
you know what I'm saying?
you know, I like praise people and yell at people and you know, like,
Yeah.
you know,
I
for
like
me,
that,
I don't get to fucking get the juicy shit like you do.
Yeah,
you know
well,
what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
and I'd say that just like the plant, it's such a variety of different things and different reasons that people go towards it. I think the financial aspect that we need to figure out how insurance covers something like that. If it'll cover the opioids and cover all the other stuff, then we certainly should get it to cover our cannabis. And it just goes on and on for, you know, different folks. I've seen some people here that were strictly here for the commerce
Right.
end of it, but the overwhelming majority of it is I ate this gummy and then this happened to
Right.
me, and then that was
Now Aunt Sue wants gummies all the
Wants
time.
gummies.
Right. Right. That's
It-
okay though. That's
it
wonderful.
is.
It's
It is.
wonderful. I love it.
It is. It's the normalization of cannabis, which should have never been unnormalized.
There you go.
Right.
That we should have. Again, how much time did we lose?
The Cannabis
on the
Tax
path?
Act, 1937.
Yeah.
You know, Henry J. Enslinger
Yeah.
demonized it, and we are still recovering from that. But yeah.
Well, that's the. I think at some point in time we'll probably look at that at the fossil fuels we used in time, and we'll be like, well, dude, if you reference the Death Star and the cruiser,
There's a
then
Falcon fuel strain that he's not telling you about.
Right.
I mean,
There's
We're
the
working on these varieties. God damn it!
it increases the speed. You can jump more parsecs that way.
but McCoy, when they're sitting there on one of the movies and they're like, can you believe this? They actually were going to cut this guy's chest open to work on his heart. They're animals, Jim. You know, McCoy's sitting there telling Kirk, like, they're crazy. They were gonna cut a hole in his head to let out the pressure or something like that because he had fallen off the ship or something
Right.
like that. And we look at that and we're like, wow, that's, you know, future shit and all that. But it's not so far away. Fuck Kirk, and they were talking on fucking cell phones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How long ago?
That's it.
Right.
I still want one that opens like that. I don't
Dude,
know.
that was a Star Trek.
That was it.
That
Yeah,
was it.
that
And you
was
bit
it, right.
the
The
antenna
antenna
to go
out.
open.
Yeah.
What about the
Absolutely.
Matrix one where it dropped straight down? That wasn't ever a real cell phone.
No,
you
it
could never
was.
get
It
the
was. I think Motorola busted one of those out, dude. Fucking.
I had a brick phone. Those
Yeah.
things were like they had so much radio. They're like 3 watts. You could cook hot dogs on the antenna and shit. Hey, call me. I'm cooking some hot dogs later.
You could definitely kill somebody with it when it ran out of juice. Yeah.
That was it.
Throw it at 'em.
All the cops were getting nut cancer from carrying all the phones in
man.
their drawers or whatever.
Right.
They probably deserved it, busting the weeders.
Yeah.
So, well, definitely everybody go check out Green Seed Fire.
Green
close.
Fire Seeds.
Green Fire Seeds.
That weed's working.
Yeah. Green Fire Seeds on Instagram. Come on out to Chronic Palooza. You can meet Marcus and Robin from Arbuckle Tree Factory. Look for their stuff. Mr. Green. Omar? Is that say Mr. Green?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Yep,
Omar.
yep.
Shout out to
Mike.
Omar. And there's a guy there that
I work with Mike over there. He's came in from Colorado. He was a key player over there at Green Solutions. Did some really wonderful things for those guys, and he's working with Omar and the guys
Isn't there a guy Stockwater over there, a grow guy or something like that? I forget what his name is. He's
not
a crazy
quite sure
guy.
on that one.
Yeah, but I know Omar from. He was one of the first guys to really get it going that I hooked up with.
Yeah.
And he's got a great deal. I think he sells every 8 for $25. They still do that.
Well,
over
now we have worked a deal with them. We have some super high-end stuff that's coming in at 38, 39% total THC. Total cannabinoids.
How do you like that shit?
We have 33% THC stuff. It's strong, you know. It's
Yeah.
strong. It's blow your doors open.
Yeah.
But we also have worked out something with those guys at their Norman location where you can get a $25 quarter bag
What?
out the door with taxes. So out the door, $25 for 7 grams of weed.
Your weed.
Yep, some weed that we had grown at our facility. Yep, it's a win.
And they've got a full array of your weed there, not just.
They do. We have multiple
Tropical
price points
popsicle?
there. Yeah, we have some Trop Pop there. That's some of our high end. That's our super high tier stuff. But
Follow
and then-
on Weed Maps. They list you by Arbuckle on Weed Maps, or
I believe so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so. Absolutely.
ask for it by name. That's
Yeah.
the only way you're going to get it.
Yeah, and we're trying to produce that 10 out of 10. The Zaza, as they say. It's
Dude, well, you guys are definitely working towards that Zaza there from the array that we see here, and you probably might take home a trophy or two in the Jack Herrera Cup, which is going to be April 17th and 18th. The award ceremony, I think, is Sunday at 4:20.
yeah, man.
So that should be a pretty.
Looking forward
Got
to
some
that.
great music going on, and
Strange.
all
You
that
guys
stuff.
are really doing something. Every time I look at it, I just spend a lot of time. I know you guys spend a lot of money getting the artists that you've brought in and getting everything organized.
Dude, we're at the mall. We're at an abandoned mall, 150,000 square feet outside, 50,000 square feet inside.
Yeah,
We're
it takes a lot of effort and time to organize an event like this.
Shout
I know
out
you
to
guys are
Supersonic
working on it.
Chronic out there. I know she's got to be asleep by now, but it's her, man. She inspires us, and she's got a great people surrounding her, including myself. But
cool.
just everything that we got going here, and then she's still a mom, a wife, and still has a somewhat of a life, I guess, if you can call it that. But
Nice.
she's doing what she loves to do, and so I'm blessed to thanks to her enabling us to do the grinder here and all that stuff, and giving you guys that's one of the things that we said if we were going to do a cup is we got to have everybody come in because everybody deserves some recognition for growing weed. Like you said, it doesn't matter what level you're on. We had talked a little bit about when you first came in, seeing some of the other entries, and it was like that's their best weed that they feel they grow. Maybe they're not going to win, maybe not, but I think that we owe it to all the growers and all the
Absolutely,
processors that it kicks back to them.
Yeah, man. Growing weed is, everyone's
easy.
like, oh, you can grow. It's just weed. You can grow anything. Like, nah, man. There's certain people that have chosen that path, chosen that life journey, to take their time, effort, money, people they're working with, and create something and put it out there for other people to look at and see. And the wonderful thing about it is, some shit that may be the best stuff to somebody, it ain't nothing to somebody else. And something that, it's like, oh, what the fuck is this? They're like, that's the only thing that made my knee quit hurting. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Well,
real, so.
I can absolutely say that in all of your array, I didn't smell any GMO, which I think that's awesome because everybody's growing that GMO. I think it tastes nasty. It doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah, man.
It's definitely savory.
We've got the GMO cut, but one thing I can tell you is I've got this Kim DOG that I brought from Colorado, and it's like it tastes like garlicky marinara. It's like totally bizarre, and it tests 35.2 total cannabinoids. But it's like the pre-GMO shit, like before there was GMO, there was this, and before there was this, there was like Yanny. But dude, we got this stuff called Kim de la Kim that is like the next GMO. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have the armpit You know,
Because I'm a Jelly Belly freak, and so I buy the big giant jars of Jelly Bellies,
Yep.
and there's always this one flavor in there that just, I think it's vomit flavor. or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
that's the
right,
one.
It
right.
just jacks me.
Earwax.
It's
Yeah,
earwax.
man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, they make those bamboozled ones with the crazy
Oh yeah.
flavors.
Oh,
and-
my kids like to fuck me with those bamboozled. I'm like, nah, man, that dog food one, nah, man. Like, it made me sick, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. Like they show up in bamboozle. I'm like, can I just give you a $20 bill and we call it even? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's. I guess they must have some incredible terp people over there at Jelly Belly, 'cause
Right.
their flavors are so on point.
yeah.
That is ridiculous, and they
Yeah.
can make dog food.
Yeah, like who got to do the tasting for that shit? You know, and it tastes just like Alpo. You know, no, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you know, our lemon skunk stuff and our lemon stuff is like lemon heads.
Yeah.
You know, we have that real old school lemon skunk cut, the legit fucking Las Vegas lemon skunk cut. And so, you know, those things are important because they are part of that medicinal side of things. Like, it is the terpene combination with the other active cannabinoids that create that you know, relief that people are looking for,
Yeah.
whether it be anxiety or your neck. You know?
Or that get going, like you said, that sativa, those lemons always get me going. If
Yeah.
super tangy, things like that, I hit that and I'm like, I'm ready
Oh, yeah.
to go. Let's rock. So
Absolutely.
Just like that orange terp you just hit.
yeah. All right. Well, we're at 12 o'clock high.
Nice.
So we're going to thank you folks, and we'll get down to some serious business here.
Thanks for having us
Sounds
out,
good.
man. We really
Oh,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on out. Arbuckle Tree Factory. Go find them at Green Fire Seed.
That's right. On
Green
on
Fire
Instagram.
Seed on
Green
it.
Fire Seeds on Instagram. And Arbuckle Tree Factory is also active. We're going to
We'll
start
find
posting on
that,
there,
and
yeah.
we'll do all that. And you definitely come on out to the Chronic Palooza. Meet these guys if you're in the seeds, if you're into growing, if you're into pretty much anything weed. These guys can pretty much hang out with you and talk to you for a while. I know that's one of the big things that is one of the benefits of all these things. You know, everybody gets out there and they get to medicate in the open and all that kind of stuff, but sharing the knowledge of being able to come and share a story with you, or, you know, maybe they've seen you here and talking about something, and they'll bring it up, and they'll
The
be
fuel
like,
cell.
hey, the
Yeah,
fuel,
they
the fuel cell. That's,
Yeah, man.
we're gonna have to
That's the
work on that one.
Hemp
for
can
a
save the
while.
world, baby.
That's
That'll be a different podcast. We have
Hemp,
to go deep.
hemp will save the world.
There you go. Any shout outs to any people out there for you? Shout out to Vince. If you don't follow Vince Gordon Art, you should go check out Vince Gordon Art, because without Vince Gordon right here, this meeting probably wouldn't have happened. It probably would have happened,
Yeah.
but it was just nice that we got a mutual friend that kind of introduced us, and it's pretty good. Go follow him on Vince Gordon Art over there on Instagram. And definitely go to www.chronicdocs.com or call 866-405-9333 for Chronic Docs.
Yeah, man.
$25.
$25 all day, every day. Bringing one. A1 since day one. That's how we do it.
Hell yes. There you go. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming on in. I got to get up and turn this sucker off. There you go. We flew it on the solo. Like, that's like Wilbur and Orville.
That's how we do it.
Thank
Check
you,
out
Larry.
Oklahoma Kush Collective, guys. This guy does a lot of great things for the industry and donates to veterans in need always and forever. We try to help support him at all costs, but
Definitely. Sure,
Oklahoma
weed
Kush
first.
Collective, he is a real dude all the time, so much love.
There you go. We're out.